guys, it's Tiffany here from Life of Lee's, and I was just cleaning up the kids' schoolroom, and I just want to do a really quick video for you guys about how I choose and plan curriculum. This is something that in the beginning, when I first started homeschooling like 6 years ago, that I just felt like really overwhelmed. And in the beginning, I made a lot of school type choices. And then I realized that we're homeschooling, that I don't have to do it just like it's done in school. I still have a very much that kind of real typical kind of public school or private school feel, I guess, to the way we school, because it's what works for me and my children. But I have changed a lot of things for sure. And so really quick, I made some notes, and I'm just gonna kind of try to quickly, without babbling too much, go kind of over the basics of how I choose and plan curriculum for my 4 children. And this year I have 2 high schoolers and a 3rd grader, and then my 4-year-old will be starting kind of like kindergarten-ish kind of stuff. Anyways, here we go. So how do I choose what curriculum or what subjects to teach? And these are kind of like the points I think about and look at. First, what do I want my children to know? Okay, so what do you want your children to know? You want your children to understand how the world works, to you want them to learn about the Holocaust? I mean, what do you want your children to know? That's probably the most important thing of all, because that's what you're going to be passionate about teaching them. And if you're passionate about what you're teaching them, generally they're going to be passionate about learning it. The next thing I would think of is, what way do I think my children or that child will enjoy, or what way will it be easiest for them to learn a subject? So I don't really buy into that. Everyone has a certain learning style, okay? But I do think that everyone has a way in which they find it the most enjoyable to learn something, or it's just easier because, again, they're enjoying it. So if you have someone that's a very avid reader, like they love reading and they just read all the time, then the easiest way for them to learn about anything is probably going to be reading about it. So whether you're just buying biographies or fictional books or whatever on those subjects and reading them to them or with them, or having them read them and discuss them with you, that might be the easiest way to teach them about whatever it is you want to teach them. So I think about that, and it is different with each of my children, at least a little bit within different subjects. Also, the other thing I do think about, and some homeschoolers might hear this and be like, ugh, but I do look into, what do kids that are in private or public school know, and what are they learning? Okay, so generally speaking, I'm going to look and say, let's say my freshmen, I'm going to say, well, what are other kids in that grade in the local high schools around me, what are they learning about? What subjects are they covering? Okay, and that is really with all my grades. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to be like, well, they're all learning about dinosaurs, so we're only going to learn about dinosaurs this year. Just example. I know they don't just learn about one thing. That's an example. So I'm not going to follow it exactly necessarily, but I want to make sure that they're getting, I want to make sure that they're at least going to have some comprehension about similar subjects, right? Does that make sense? Ugh, I'm not the best speaker. Okay, so then when we're talking about high school in particular, these are some things that also I'm going to look at. What do public or private schools require for high school graduation? Okay, now again, when you homeschool, depending I guess on what state you homeschool in, we homeschool in Texas, so we're very free in our choices, but most of the time it's up to you. When you feel your child has a good enough education, that they've mastered the subjects you think is necessary for them to master, that's usually most states, then you would then graduate them. It's not necessary or required in most states that your child has gotten the same type of education as a public schooler, or that they've covered the same subjects or gotten the same amount of credits, whatever. But for me and for my daughters, it is important. They want to know that they are getting as much or more, really, than the other public and private schooled kids around them. So we do look at that. And so most high schools around here, if I remember right, I have to look at my spreadsheet, but I believe it's 26 credits, and it's, 4 credits in this and 4 credits in that and 2 credits in this, whatever. So we've made sure that my daughters will get those same subjects covered and those same amount of credits, if not more, which for most of my children will be more. Also, for my high schoolers, I look at, before they begin high school, I go, what do at least local colleges and universities expect or require? Because I want to make sure that should my child choose to go to college or university, that they would not find it difficult to get in, because they will know the things they're supposed to know. They will have the documents they need to have, the credits, the test scores, whatever. Okay, so we also look at that. Now, on top of those things that I ask myself and I think about when I'm planning for my children's curriculum for the forthcoming year and etc., I also do months of research. And generally speaking, all year round, I'm researching. I'm watching other vlogs on homeschooling and curriculum. I'm reading blogs. I'm looking up different curriculum. I'm perusing, curriculum sites that, like Rainbow Resource. I might be pulling books off my own shelves and reading through them and thinking about how can I use this? What can I do to make this, fit my child? Do I want to use this? So I'm always constantly researching in all different kinds of ways throughout the year. Now, when it comes closer to the end of the school year we're working on, then I really start to focus down and really finalize those things that I've been thinking about, because I keep lists and take notes. And so when it gets really close to that time, then I'll sit there and go, okay, so for history, for geography, for math, what is this child going to be doing? And I'll write it down, and I'll order things that I need to order. I'll print off pages I need to print off. I'll create spreadsheets that I need to create, because I do create my own curriculum. Some years more than others, some children more than other children, it just depends. So that was the other thing I was going to talk about, is that sometimes I do create my own curriculum. And the way that I do that is I will pull things. Like, let's say, for my high schoolers, my daughters, for their health education, part of what I found really important that I want them to know is, I think as a woman, it's very important to understand how our bodies work. And for my children too, they all at this point speak about having children of their own in their future. So I thought, God, that is really important, that they really have a good understanding of conception and pregnancy and labor and delivery. Like, I really wanted them to have knowledge in that. And so I pulled from all different resources, because it's something that I'm really into learning about and studying and have for a long time and probably will never stop. So I, different books and videos and textbooks, and I just pulled different information from them and planned out, they're going to read this, and then they're going to do this essay, they're going to watch this video, they're going to fill out this questionnaire, they're going to, that kind of thing. And so I just piece by piece built it, and my oldest did it last year, and she really enjoyed it, and she really learned a lot. And so we're doing it with my new high schooler this year. She'll be doing that. Then once I have decided what everyone's doing and I have gathered all my curriculum, so I have all the books and resources that we would need for that school year, I then sit down at my computer for each child, and I have an Excel spreadsheet, very simple. It has each subject, and it has like the day we plan to start our new school year, and we personally make sure that we do 180 days of school. So I have that in, along with, like some vacations, times that we will take, which doesn't match up with public schoolers. And I just put in, like, per subject, I'll look at, okay, here's their math. Their math has, 160 lessons and 15 tests, and how much do they need to accomplish each day, each week to get that done within the year. And I just put all that into my spreadsheet. And then once that's the whole child's whole school year is put into the spreadsheet, then I take a planner, and by hand, just for like the first 3 or 4 months of school, we pencil, so it can be erased because things change. And I just pencil that in, you know, what the plan is for those first few months for each subject. And for my older ones, it's generally like, these are all the subjects and the chapters or pages or whatever that I want you to accomplish in that week. And they're really free to like do that when and how they see fit within the week, but I really want them to make sure they get all that done within the week. And like I said, changes do happen. So even though I have it all planned out for the whole year in my Excel spreadsheet, it's really easy to, you know, copy, paste, move, delete, all that stuff, and just move things around if some changes occur. And on top of that, I really try to, not in the beginning I didn't, but now I've learned that it's okay if something doesn't work. If my child is hating it, if I'm hating it, if it's just not working for any reason, then throw it away. Pick something else. You know, go back to it later. Give it a little break. Go back to it later. Readdress. Say, can we change it up and use it in a different way? Or do we just need a completely different subject matter? And that's okay. And in fact, this year when I was planning the homeschool curriculum, and for my high schoolers, I decided, oh, we're going to continue using the science program we were using. And I ordered their kits for their consumables and then some non-consumables that my older one needed. And so I paid hundreds of dollars for the kits that go along with this curriculum that my oldest was using last year. And then it got there and I said, I don't want to do this. I didn't love it. She didn't love it. It was okay. I mean, my oldest is just really intelligent and things come naturally to her, but she just didn't love it. And she didn't feel like she learned really that much from it. And we thought, gosh, you know, I don't know that her slightly younger sister would be able to do that. She's dyslexic and she has a little bit more difficulties with things. And so we just thought, I don't know. None of us felt like it was the fit for us. Every single one of us were like, we don't want to do this. And so I said, you know what? Who cares? And so we just pushed it aside, and I decided to actually give myself a break this time, and I decided to just go ahead and go on easy peasy homeschool, and they're doing their science from that site. And so we kind of got prepared for that, and I said, well, we have all this stuff and maybe you'll get to use some of the science consumables with this science program. We'll see, who knows. If not, my girls will have fun investigating with it anyways. But so it's okay to make changes. Don't feel like if I order this curriculum, whether I buy an entire set or I buy a piece here, a piece there, build my own, and it doesn't work. That's okay. If it doesn't work in 6 weeks from then, if it doesn't work 6 months later, it's not working, throw it aside and do something different. It's okay. Give yourself some grace. You know, nobody's perfect. It'll be okay. And I've really learned that, you know, in the beginning I was like nervous about it, and then I was okay with it. And then I started with a high schooler and I got nervous again. Oh my gosh, it's high school. And then I realized again that it's okay. It's not, we are capable. We are more than capable of educating our children. And after, you know, 6 years or so looking back, I see all the growth in my children. I think about all the time that I've spent with them and what I've learned teaching them, and I can really see now like the growth and the changes that have occurred within them and within myself, and it's just been a wonderful thing, and I love it, and my children love it. And I'm not saying it's easy all the time, because sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's hard, and sometimes you will question yourself, but that's okay. Just keep pushing through. Look for support where you can, whether it's on a vlog, a blog, your husband, your neighbor, you know, look for support where you can. And don't give up. Don't give up on your children. Don't give up on yourself, because you can do this. Thanks for watching.